Okay, and
We're good. We're not muted.
we're not muted.
Yep, you can start to see it's doing things here.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the April meeting, Nutmeg Division. This is our annual meeting. So that's right. We're going to have the elections. We're going to have elections today. We're going to find a new volunteer for director, and that is on our plate of things to do. Welcome. All right, and come on, next slide.
The arrow key.
Arrow. There we go. Thank you. Okay, division business. Here we go. Treasurer's report. We're doing pretty good with money. Thanks to Jeff Hankey. He had employer match on charitable contributions, and we still have plenty of money from the convention last 2 years ago, right? Yes, it's been 2 years. Okay, we have 150 members in good standing, and one new person signed up. Thank you very much. And so welcome. Social media, we're doing pretty good. You would say so, Mike? Yeah, we're doing good.
Lots of great interaction with national and all over the world.
Yes, good. Exposure is good. You know, it's not the kind of exposure that gets you called from the police, which is a good thing.
We're already in the police station.
Yes, we're already here. Thank you. Okay, then also the Saturday call board. That is our division's operating group that I've started. We had one op session, went really well. We have 3 layouts signed up and 8 members. We'd like to have more people join. As the name implies, it is going to be their operations on Saturdays. So that way, if you work funky hours, you know, if 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night doesn't work for you, it will, or it should. So, and you can contact me at nutmegdivisionoperations@gmail.com.
And the flyers for that are on the table.
Flyers for that are on the table, yes. Okay, our next meeting, getting ahead of ourselves, but we want to start getting the word out on this. We are going to be at the Railroad Museum of New England in Thomaston, and we have lined up to where we're going to get train rides, and we're going to sell tickets. All the details will be forthcoming, but get other people interested, and hopefully we can get people from outside of the division to help defray the costs, and maybe we can make some money on this.
To be clear, this is a charter. This is not regularly scheduled trains.
Yes, it's.
So we're paying for a special train. So the more people we have attending, the better.
Yes, but this is, you know, real official. Hey, we're really going to do this. Contract is in the works. Yes, or is it? Yeah, contract is still in the works, but we are going to be doing this, and this is where our next meeting is going to be. Okay. National NMRA has published the code of conduct. If you want to take a look at it, go right ahead. You know, thanks to lawyers and whatnot, yeah, everybody needs a code of conduct. You know, just just putting out there, don't be a butthole, it doesn't work anymore. Well, I mean, all right. We have a modeling challenge that's going to be here today. It's there. We have 3. Great. Anytime during the day, grab a ticket, put your contest on, and we'll have it. And there's what, 2 gift certificates?
So there's 1 gift certificate for today. It's a $50 gift certificate to trains.com, which is a member of the NMRA partnership program. So there's a discount if you use your NMRA number when you order through them. So we have a $50 gift certificate to that today. The winner, you'll pick one of those today.
Okay, great. And the other thing is we have an election for the position of director that will be vacated by Jeff Hankey. So that is it for business. Okay, nearby trains events. There's one today that was on here, but it's like, hey, wait a minute. It's today. We're not going to go there. Okay, the large-scale train show, Eastern States. is April 27th. We got NERPM, May 31st. Both of those are in the greater Springfield area. And if you have any other train events you want to get promoted, give Ron the information, and he'll put it out in the email. Now that we have constant contact, it makes things much easier, doesn't it, Ron?
Getting it out, yes. Creating it is still.
I said getting it out is a whole lot easier, yes.
Oh, yeah. 5 minutes as compared to 6 hours.
Yes. Okay, so if you haven't signed up, please do. Ron keeps count, and you know it helps. And anything else? Oh yeah, support your local hobby shop. And speaking of local hobby shops, what is it? Tom's Trains down to 2 days a week. So, bummer.
Say one of them?
Yes,
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so. I believe it's Friday, Saturday.
How convenient.
How convenient. Yes. Okay.
Apparently Tom has been
Be careful when you
for a
get
while,
Tom.
so he's got other people help.
That's something, be careful what you get for Tom. I have a locomotive over a year now. I have not been able to get it back from him. Last time I called him, and I asked him to please try to do something to slam the phone down. And it went there because the decoder only went forward, it didn't go backwards. And I have not got any satisfaction from him over a year. I've visited back to his shop at least 20 times or more.
Okay.
Some of the write-ups I've seen, he also treats people pretty bad. So I haven't had a locomotive well over a year, and he still hasn't done it. He's telling me somebody else got it, have it. Well, that's fine, but I gave it to you, you get it back from me.
Okay.
To let you know, and if you read some of the write-ups on a few things he's done, sorry, I'm a little bit disappointed, but that's kind of, why you can't get one back after we've had it for over a year? It's a good question.
Okay. Thank you. Don.
Two things. As I understand it from reading about the large-scale train show, it seems to be everything bigger than a show, so it isn't necessarily just garden roll stuff.
No, it's actually, I did it last year, I did just a demonstration last year, they sell stuff. It is G-scale live stream also. They didn't have anything bigger than G-scale live stream. I had a locomotive, a tank locomotive, 4.5 inch, I call it 4.5 inch scale, I don't even know what it is. It's on display. It's a pretty good show, and they're trying to promote, large scale. So.
And the other thing is, I do have sheets with strips with just the addresses of today's layouts, and if all you're going to do is plug them in your GPS, please take one of those. If you need blow-by-blow, turn-by-turn directions, there are full sheets. Two-sided, ones to go to Dennis Fantasies first, and the other side to go to Paul and Judy's first. And I'm looking for a volunteer to take a layout sign to one of those so I can take a sign to the other one. They both be there by 1 o'clock. So if you're willing to take one of the other signs, I don't care which, please see me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don. And thank you for setting up these layout visits. Appreciate it. Okay. Now, let's get down to business. Election time. So we need somebody oh wait, that's right. I didn't read that second email from Ron that Mr. Wheeler has decided to step up and put his hat in the ring for fulfill the director position. Is there anybody else? Anybody you don't like and want to volunteer?
Dave Yale has also put his name in.
Okay. And Dave's here?
As far as I know, yes.
Oh, I was expecting you to go, no, me too.
We're looking for additional people to volunteer at the last second.
No. I was like,
Yes, I'm here.
yes, you were here. So if both of you can come up and give a little spiel if you want, or just say, vote for me. Free donuts. No, wait, we're already doing that.
We're not trying to like combat.
Okay, Michael, first.
Okay.
Hi guys. So I know a lot of you know me from the social media stuff, and you can probably see all my work on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, all that stuff. With Jeff leaving, I think one of the things I want to do is what I'm seeing in social media is there's a big push to have a younger image in railroading, particularly by a lot of NMRA National. And speaking with a few of you here, I know that many of you have been very complimentary of my work, and I'm very grateful for that. And I would like to take the next step and step up into the board and start having a little more influence, in terms of being able to vote on things. Working with James and Ron, a lot of us are pulling double duty, so I don't think pulling double duty as far as a voting member and social media will be that big of a challenge going forward. But appreciate all the support so far, all the support relative to social media, and looking forward to helping out more and bring more of you into the fold as far as the other openings we have, so maybe we all don't have to be double duty. But thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Some of you know me, my name's Dave Yale. I'm getting more involved in the local level of model railroading because I have more time now. I'm into my 60s finally, and things are settling down. I work for the state of Connecticut. I'm an assistant attorney general, which sounds a lot more impressive than it really is. It means that I'm an attorney that represents a state. I was also a Waterbury police officer for 20 years, so that's my background. Started modeling when I was a teenager, took a break, got back into it. Member of the Valley HO-Track Modular Club. Been with them for about 10 years, which of course is an NMRA club here in Connecticut. I'm also working on a couple T-Track modules in N-scale, which I had forgotten how small N-scale is, so we'll see exactly where that goes. Some of you may remember a couple years ago I did a clinic here about 3D printing. I do 3D design, I do 3D printing, I play with electronics some. I'm only a mediocre modeler when it comes to structures and things, but I have fun doing what I'm doing. So I'm looking for ways that I can help out, and this is one way I could help out, or possibly in another position. We'll find out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dave. All right, I didn't count how many NMRA members do we have here? Do we have enough? Yes, we do. Wonderful. We'll get the count later. Good, we can have the election. What? 20. We have 20. Good. 15 is the minimum, correct? Yes. So, all right. All in favor of, okay.
It's okay.
Dave. No, I'm thinking, it's like, okay, which way am I going to do it? Okay, alphabetical. Dave. Everybody that would like to, Dave, raise your hand. Say, oh, good, Dave, thank you for voting yourself, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and votes for Michael. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Michael, you're it. Congratulations. Okay, the election in the board for superintendent is going to be held at the next board meeting, which is going to be an in-person meeting. So they're not by the board of directors. So yeah, it's not going to be like it has been, which is the quickest game of tag in the world. Right. So that's actually good. It's not going to be done now. That's going to be done at the next board meeting. So, Ken, you said you
I just wanted to say thank you to Dave for volunteering, and I hope he doesn't just step aside and not continue to participate. Because
I will say openly that I didn't know if anyone had volunteered to run, which is one reason I put my name in. I almost voted for myself.
Okay. So, oh yeah, and speaking of open positions, what was it? We have, what?
Clinic chairperson.
We need a clinic chairperson and
Possibly, I haven't talked with Don, but Don has been making comments that he's, well, he could say better himself, but we may need at least help with the layout.
yeah,
If anything.
if anything. So if you're looking to help out, those are two places that we could use help. So I'm not just singling Dave out. It's like for anybody would like to help, we'll always appreciate help. So.
I think things a lot easier.
I can certainly help with the clinics, I have no problem, if you need me in that position.
You're hired.
You're hired. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Ron will email you when the board meetings are. They're, well, usually held on free conference call. So next one's going to be an in-person that Michael's making the arrangements for, correct?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Before you start today, I just want to say something about the contest.
Sure.
So if you've been paying attention to the notifications, to email, to constant contact, the model winner today, the judging is by popular vote. So there are index cards over there with a pen. So at some point during the meeting, I believe we have 3 entries. So all you do is write down 1, 2, or 3, throw it in the vote box, and at the end of the meeting, I will count the votes, and then we'll give the winner their gift certificate, which I have today. So sometime before, yes, Ron.
What were the raffle tickets for?
The raffle tickets are for the thing in Naugatuck, but it's okay. I'll definitely take them today. So
It's not for today.
it's not for today, but it's good that you brought them.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. You're good. You're prepared.
That's why you didn't remind me.
Yeah. So that's all. If you want to vote before we leave today, we'll pick the winner of the model contest. Remember, that's your vote. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to have a short intermission. Let's take 5 minutes, grab coffee, donut, go to the bathroom at the end, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have our one and only presentation for today, and it's going to be Ken May and inside the NMRA's Achievement Program. Okay, so small break.
If you haven't signed in, please sign in, please.
Made a little write-up for it. So this is going to replace that sorry-looking thing on a old Mills model. So it's going to be tougher for them to destroy this one.
Oh, yeah.
Tougher. Well, no, it's just the people that set up and take down aren't exactly the most delicate.
I have made some things that you operate, so.
Yeah, I know, it's exactly, yeah, I understand. So I have to work on my soldering skills, but,
Spice together.
oh yeah, between that and,
Right now, there's nobody.
Oh, I got one.
no, it's not a kid.
I mean, about a point of kid, you know, you have to flour.
Right.
Yeah.
No, like, these are just for first aid. I got HB and L-girders.
I would have used, Walters, not bothered,
Well, part of it is, I want this to be judged in, for 18 structures, so,
They care whether you.
you can show that you can work in more than one medium, in ways of building things.
Yeah.
And the siding is different from the roof. The hard way, when it's in the strips, that's when you should paint weather them and then cut them. I cut mine first and tried to paint them.
This one's
that's what the purpose of my.
I'll take these. No, the, Motrin models.
Guy that does them for you, so they're
Right.
and easy to make.
Right, these are still easy to make, but they're HO scale. But, you know,
They're kind of rough and very rare in California. They use the same shit on the side. Yeah.
I just wanted, you know, wanted a different texture. Right.
Well, anything I got
On this table, this is all gonna get proceeded. I had a radio there, that's what I came for, to see how.
And I'm gonna be using this I'm gonna be using all this stuff, you know, on my rail, on my railroad. So, everything, in modules that I've done is just practice for my rail. I made my mistakes there.
Well, everything. Sometimes you have to look it up, and that's that over there.
Right. But it even has, even though this is solid, it even has, there are some interior lights. You can look at that, right? You can see that they're lit. And every exit door has a light over it. So, the fire escapes over here.
Oh, okay.
So the frames are, the frames are phosphor bronze wire, again soldered, so they're not going to get crushed easily. And the cage is also phosphor bronze wire shaped, so it's not going to get crushed and broken easily. So the tissue fire escapes were cut and trimmed to fit on them. Yeah, I get to work on it.
The guy who works on brass musical instruments, the guy. Yeah, take it apart. You know, when it's right, pull the parts, you know.
Yeah.
With the parts, you know, I just burning that crap up.
Yeah.
Overheated, right?
Okay, guys, are you ready to go?
When I came in, I started talking, it's never good.
I did not time this, so I don't know how long it's going to run.
Okay, gentlemen, seat please.
I'm up here so rarely, I live in Rhode Island.
So you do.
Yeah.
Ken, the floor is yours.
One of the significant portions of the NMRA program that's been in existence since the very beginning of the NMRA is the achievement program. Now, I must tell you that I have my exposure to the achievement program has been extremely limited, but 11 years ago, maybe it's more like 12, Bob Ham asked me to become involved in working with him on staff at the National Convention Model Contest. And since the model contest and the achievement program go hand in hand, and at that particular point in time, they were making an effort to make sure that the rules and processes at the model contest were in accord with what was being done for the achievement program. That has opened my eyes and allowed me to become very familiar with what goes on in the achievement program. So I contacted my friend Bill Brown, who is the AP chairman for the Northeastern region, and asked him if he already had a presentation prepared for the achievement program, and he sent me this program. So the NMRA achievement program is your travel guide to the journey in model railroading. What the achievement program provides is a system of requirements for demonstrating a superior skill of level of modeling skill, an incentive to learn and master skills, and the issuance of a certificate acknowledging your achievement. All of this information can be obtained at the National Organization website, www.nmra.org, and it's on the menu at the top of the page. One of the things is education, and under education is the achievement program. The achievement program consists of 11 categories of achievement, but sometimes we consider it to be 12 because the Golden Spike program, which is not explicit part of the achievement program, is often used as an introduction to what is done in the achievement program. The achievement program consists of 4 basic categories: model railroad equipment, model railroad settings, engineering and operation, and service to the hobby. And the ultimate goal is a master model railroader. So when we look at the 4 categories, you have model railroad equipment, which includes master builder motive power and master builder cars; settings, which includes master builder structures, master builder scenery, master builder prototype models; engineering and operation, which is model railroad engineer civil, model railroad engineer electrical, and chief dispatcher; and service to the hobby, association volunteer, and model railroad author. How do I earn a certificate? You must be an NMRA member. You must complete all requirements of that category. You must submit a statement of qualification form, which is known as the SOQ, with all supporting data to your Division AP chairman, and you can submit it by paper or by email. I take submissions that are sent to me, and I scan them and send them by email to Bill Brown, who then does it and sends it to National, and then it all comes back in a similar fashion. So the Nutmeg Division Achievement Program Chairman is me, so that you don't have to write all this information down. I brought a bunch of business cards with that information on it, which if you are interested, you can have one. It contains my phone number and my email as well. So the chain of submission, which takes usually 2 to 3 months, is the Division AP Chair to the Region AP Chair, then to the National Assistant Manager, who batches these things and does them once a month, around the 20th of the month. He sends them to Paul Richardson, who is the General Manager, and then they come back to Bill Brown, and then back to me, and then if you attend the NER convention and you've received a certificate in the course of the year, then Bill at the banquet calls everybody up and acknowledges all the people who got achievement certificates that year. So let's talk about the Golden Spike, which is the entry level to the AP program. You must construct 8 square feet minimum of layout, including scenery. This can be a 2x4 module, a 1x8 shelf, anything that amounts to 8 square feet. You must display 6 units of rolling stock, either scratch-built, craftsman kits, or super detailed commercial kits. You must construct 5 structures, either scratch-built, craftsman kits, or super detailed commercial kits. 3 types of trackage, a turnout, crossing, a crossover, etc., all properly ballasted on proper roadbed, and commercial trackage may be used. All trackage must be properly wired so that 2 trains can be operated at once, either block control or command control. And 1 additional electric feature, such as a power-operated turnouts, signaling, lighted buildings, etc. There is no judging in this category. For the Golden Spike, all the AP representative will do is verify that you have done these things. The first category within the AP is Master Builder Motive Power. For Master Builder Motive Power, you must build 3 scale models of railroad motive power, locomotive or self-propelled vehicle. 1 must be scratch-built. All must be capable of self-propulsion on track, and all must be super detailed. 2, you must earn a merit award of at least 87.5 points on all 3 models, either in an NMRA-sponsored contest or AP merit judging. What is super detailed? Considerable more detail of excellent quality than is usually expected. Quality is more important than quantity. Craftsman's kits, cross-kit models, modified kit models, parts-built models, and extensively altered assembled models, e.g. to a different prototype with more detail added. What qualifies as motive power? A steam locomotive, a diesel locomotive, or either. How the heck do I scratch build that? Well, there are some people who do, but many people do not. Many people think outside the box, and they choose other things. If it moves on the rails, it is considered motive power. Jeff Henke, for those of you who have been here before, did his motive power, and he did, CSX had a little box locomotive that they used to move things around in the yard, and it underwent changes over the years, so he did 3 versions of it, one 1930s, one 1950s, and one 1970s, 1980s. And Rob Quimby and I went down and judged those, and that was really exciting because he used one of those self-propelled trucks. The only thing that was not scratch-built on that model was just the truck itself. Bill Brown took a picture of this rail truck in, I believe this is Silverton, Colorado, and so he built this model as one of his motive power models. He also did a Proto 2000 080, which he painted, weathered, added coal, added scratch-built doghouse, added a lot of things, and that got a merit award and was accepted as one of his models, although it was started out as a commercial model. And then in F-scale, he also significantly altered this 260 Mogul, which was another locomotive that he got approved. So for master builder cars, you must build 8 operable railroad cars, at least 4 different types. 1 must be a passenger car. 4 must be scratch built. The others must be super detailed. You need to earn a merit award, 87.5 points, with 4 of the models be in an NMRA-sponsored contest or AP merit judging. This is another picture of a car that Bill Brown took in Colorado. This is his model of it. It was in F-scale. Unfortunately, this model is no longer with us because he won this in 2006, and in 2008 he had a house fire that totally destroyed all of his models, including this one. But fortunately, photographs exist. But these are pictures of that car and what he did to construct it. And it was all board by board construction, and it was in G scale. So it was a fabulous model. So he says, go into this with an open mind. Use constructive criticism to help improve your skills. At the division meet, this model won 98 points. He then went back and did enhancements to it, brought it to the region. In the region it won Best in Show. It got 114 points, but he still wasn't satisfied. He went back and added additional details, and he submitted it at Detroit in 2007, and it won 123 points out of 125, and was the Gold Award Best in Show winner at the national contest in Detroit. These are other cars that he did that received his merit awards and qualified for his certificate. Master Builder Structures. I'm sorry that Jeff isn't here, because Jeff is my hero when it comes to structures. I started judging Jeff's structures at the very beginning of his journey through to MMR, and he's quite an excellent structure constructor. To get structures, you must build 12 scale structures: buildings, bridges, factories, signal towers, oil derrick, power line, tower, crane, ship, etc. 6 different types. 1 must be a bridge or a trestle. 6 must be scratch built, and others must be super detailed. The 6 models all have to earn a merit award, which is 87.5 points out of 125, and it can be either in a contest or in a merit awards judging session. For scenery, scenery is particularly interesting because it's one of the faster things you can do. You must complete a completed section of the model railroad. Layout does not need to be finished, only the judged scene. The scene must earn a merit award of 87.5 points, and you prepare a written description of materials and methods with photographs of the area. What the judges will look for: the terrain is the ground and all natural features such as rocks, waters, trees, hills, and depressions, as well as man-made features such as railroad roadbed, cuts, fills, drainage ditches, embankments, streets and roads, etc. Structures, prototype suitability, placement and appearance as scenic effects, not as to construction, which is covered under Master Builder Structures. Background, treatment of the wall, backdrop, and or ceiling to realistically depict depth, distance, horizon, and sky. Lighting, 3 aspects: railroad cars and signals, etc., buildings, streets and roads, etc., overall lighting effects, day and or night, and realism. For Master Builder prototype models, construct a model of a prototype scene containing at least 6 models of prototype equipment and structures. 4 different types must be represented: rolling stock, railroad structure, caboose or passenger car, and motive power. Earn a merit award on the above scene. Prepare a written description with photographs and documented evidence of the intended prototype scene. Provide color photographs and a written description of the materials and methods used. For terrain, the ground and all natural features such as rocks, water, trees, hills, and depressions, as well as man-made features such as railroad cuts, roadbed fills, drainage ditches, embankments, streets, and roads. Look at the photographs that you're working from and notice the details there, then work to recreate them. Structures, prototypical suitability, placement, and appearance as scenic effects, not as to construction, which is covered under Master Builder Structures. Also remember that structures should be in the ground, not sitting on top of it. Again, notice the little things about structures that you are trying to model, such as the number of chimneys and other roof details. Background treatment of the wall, backdrop, or ceiling to realistically just depict depth, distance, horizon, and sky, and then the lighting aspects and realism. These are scenes from Bill's model railroad, which got him the prototype modeler certificate. He is a modeler of Colorado standard gauge and narrow gauge, so this is This is one of the Colorado lines that he modeled. Wish I could remember which one. So civil engineer is one that I think we all could accomplish. It says to prepare a scale drawing of a model railroad track plan. Several requirements are included, but remember, you don't actually have to build this model railroad, you just have to show a plan on it. Construct and demonstrate the satisfactory operation of a completed section of the model railroad. Construct for merit judging, scratch-built scale model of any 3 types of track. Earn a merit award at least 87.5 points with the items in section 3 above. Notice that you only have to win a merit award with the items in section 3. The track work items in section 2 don't have to be judged at all, except to demonstrate that they work. So this is a scratch-built turnout, another scratch-built turnout, but actually this is a dual gauge turnout. Electrical. This is probably the most complex of all of the certificates. Construct and demonstrate on your own or club layout the satisfactory operation of an electrical control system on a model railroad. And there are several requirements when you get into the details. Wire and demonstrate the electrical operation of at least 3 types of track, and you have several choices. Wire and demonstrate the electrical operation of at least 3 types of control systems, either turnout control, a signal system, a short circuit control, or etc. To wire the electrical operation of 3 of the following items: installation of an exact advanced electronic and/or computer control for the model railroad, design, installation, and operation of animated mechanical and/or electrical displays, design, installation, and operation of mechanical and/or electrical layout lighting displays, installation of a command control receiver, modifications or additions to the device's wiring as required, installation of a command control throttle bus around a layout, capable of handling at least 2 or 3 throttles at 3 or more separate locations. You can use commercially assembled complete units are not acceptable in the items below, but these are things that you can do. Prepare a schematic drawing of the propulsion circuitry of the model railroad. In 1, showing the gaps, blocks, feeders, and speed and direction control, electrical switches, and power supplies. And then prepare schematic drawings identifying the wiring and components of the 6 items under 2 and 3. And so these are example diagrams. So as you can see, this is probably the most complex in terms of all the certificates in the terms of documentation that they ask you to provide.
This digital command control, it looks like a lot of that's coming out straight like a bus line.
Some of it is.
I'm not using bus lines.
Right, I understand that, but they're going to want you to show, if you're using power circuit breakers, they're going to want you to show how you divide up your layout for each of the circuit breakers. They're going to want you to show where you put your throttle plug-ins.
On my layout, I have a command station and a booster for connection between screen, that's it.
Do you have circuit breakers on the boosters or the command station, or do you use the one built in?
Yeah, I do. So, I'm just curious,
His
how much
is,
is being updated with our system? Because I think a lot of that, getting your look on screen. Just a comment.
this is,
Power districts.
this is his diagram, and he shows where his signals were. Oh, that's a touch screen, so.
Might be throttle bus.
Well, you've got throttle bus, and you've also got the power bus.
I don't have a throttle bus. It goes two places, one, from the booster, it goes up to the wireless, and that's it.
You have to diagram what you have.
I have a control box that controls, signals and all that, but it doesn't do throttle work.
And I would,
The implementation of a wireless system, wireless throttle, you consider power.
correct.
A command, control bus. That's a control bus, right?
At the
Because
time,
it's over the air, doesn't mean it's not.
at the time that Bill did this, he did this before before radio throttles were accessible, were widely available. So he built this layout with plugins all around the layout for his throttles. So,
I think the question really becomes, as technology changes in model railroading, and we adopt new methods, is the program flexible enough to consider that?
well, I think the flexibility is being worked on as we speak, because the landscape has changed so much recently. In the last 20 years, what's happened in DCC is just been awesome. So some of these criteria will be changed, and Bill is a resource to me. If you were to come to me asking for your electrical certificate, and that we would review what your documentation is, and I might send a copy of it to him saying, do you believe that this is sufficient? But here's the thing, you can't document something that isn't there. If your railroad is simple as that, where it's 2 power districts and 4 plugins, then you're documenting what exists. So you can't be expected to document something that doesn't exist. So we would have to go with that.
When you submit this stuff, can you submit a little bit at a time,
Typically, they prefer the whole package to be submitted. For example, when we did Jim's dispatcher, we had to accumulate all of the information into one package before we could send it off. And Jim had issues with getting signatures for some of his stuff, so we had to scramble. He had to scramble to get all of the people who were verifying his activities, and sign it off. He had to scramble around and get that before. But once we had the package complete, we sent it off. It passed, and he got his certificate. So let me continue with this because we haven't even got to the matrices yet. So, Chief Dispatcher, having participated in the operation of a model railroad, either home or club, for not less than 50 hours, a minimum of 10 hours each must have been served in 3 of the 5 categories listed below, one of which must be dispatcher: engineer, yardmaster, hostler, towerman, or dispatcher. Your documentation, the applicant shall also do the following: prepare a schematic drawing of the model railroad layout, meeting the operating conscribed, develop a timetable appropriate to this model railroad, develop an operating train chart which interprets the above schedule, and develop or adapt a system of operation for the layout, including all the necessary forms. Here is an example of the documentation that you must provide. On the left is a sign-up sheet so that the owner of the layout verifies that you, the applicant, served as dispatcher on this and for this amount of time. When that gets all filled in and all of it is signed and it adds up to 50 hours or the requirements, then you fill out the second form, which shows how many hours you served as engineer, how many as each factor, and 3 people off on it, and then we send it in and you get your certificate. There are 3 additional certificates. Association official, this is for somebody who has served as an official in an official capacity in either the national, regional, or division level. Official is usually at the region or the national level. Association volunteer is usually somebody at the division level or somebody who's just a member but volunteers time and activities to do things that support either a division or a region. And this is how the time units are computed. And an author is just somebody who's provided who's done writing on model railroad subjects and has been published, and you can be published either at a division level, a region level, or a national level. And there are different valuations for which level the publication takes place. So if you want to have models at the division level, I am the AP chair. The people who I consider to be certified judges in the region are myself, Robert Quimby, Jeff Hankey, and Jim Mayo, but other people can apply, and we'll have a discussion and we'll look at models and see how it looks like. Apprentice judges or NMRA members and potentially certificate holders who want to become involved in judging of models. This is a master builder judging form. Here you can see the 5 factors which we're about to get into and the numbers that they represent out of 125. So you have a car, we judge it, put in the score, the judges sign off on it, and it goes to the division AP chair when you're ready to apply for a certificate. Every model is judged on 5 factors: construction, detail, conformity, appearance, and last, scratch building. I'm going to go back to construction if my computer will cooperate. Construction is worth 40 points. It is the highest point value of the 5 factors. The yellow line, slant line, is just the division line between non-merit and merit award. When these matrices were developed, they were developed because the people who were doing judging did not have any kind of help, and so they would look at the model and someone would say to them, well, is that 0 points to 40 points? Where do you give it? There was no consistency. So these matrices were developed, and they are developed so that across the top you have quality and workmanship, from poor quality all the way up to exceptional quality, and on the left, on the vertical axis, you have scope and complexity. So A is simple, and row P is the most complex model you could possibly imagine. So when you are looking at a model, you have a sheet that describes what the modeler did. And based on that evaluation of what he claims that he did, then you have to determine whether what do they do here? Come on. Back. You have to determine where the model falls in the complexity range And then once you've just decided that it's middle level of complexity, you're going to choose row G or row H, and then you're going to go over and you're going to determine whether it's in the very good, outstanding, or exceptional range. And basically the plan is that you're in a team of 1, 2, or 3 people, and you will come up with a consensus number as to what they get, what you're going to award that model. These 5 factors in a national contest, the 5 factors are split up into 5 teams, so that the same person is not judging everything on the same model. They're just judging all the models in the room for 1 factor. In AP judging, it's a little different. We have to do all 5 factors, but we try to take them 1 factor at a time. We try to look at the model then from a construction standpoint and award a value. And then we look at it from a detail standpoint, and we award a value. And then we look at appearance, conformity, and when we decide a value. And then we look at appearance and then scratch building. The rule, there's only one rule that really comes into play here. If your model is in the scratch building category, if your model started out as a kit, no matter how much modification that you did, the maximum number of points you can get is 8 out of 15, because you cannot reward someone who starts out with a kit vis-a-vis someone who started out with plain strip wood or plain styrene or sheet styrene, whatever. You can't do that. So I don't want to get caught in the wire. This model is Mike's model. This model started out as a commercial 3-bay hopper, but Mike converted it to a 2-bay hopper by cutting the middle bay out. Now, this is, in my opinion, is a fantastic model and deserves quite a high score for everything except for scratch building. He would be limited to 8 points because he started out as a commercial kit. But out of 125 points, sacrificing 7 points is not going to keep you out of a merit award. It's not even going to keep you out of possibly winning the category, because all that does is reduce your maximum score from 125 to 118. And so 118 vis-a-vis 87.5 is still, you still have quite a margin for getting a lot of points. And it's such a marvelous job. I think I would like all of you to come up and look at this car, at some point today, because you can see what a marvelous job he has done in taking a 3-bay hopper and converting it to a 2-bay hopper. So that's an example. Now, the key point here is, I think it's the left axis. I think it's easier to evaluate a model on the upper axis. The poor, mediocre, ordinary, the quality of construction and workmanship. I think that's easier than for us to decide the scope and complexity of the model. Until you've seen quite a few models, the idea of how complex is this model is hard. It's because it's all just your opinion. That's why when we are judging as a team, we ask the least experienced judge what he thinks, and then the next least experienced, and then the team leader will be the last person to guide the other two as to where they want to be in terms of score. So construction is simply all the effort I went into constructing the model. Are there visible glue joints? Are there visible gaps? is the model appear to be, I really love this bridge. But you need to come and take a look at the bridge as well. For example, on this bridge, he's got, he represents the bolts. There's representation of all the bolts. There's spikes that are holding all the timbers together. He's got nut and bolt washers. He's done great things. But to me, that's a very realistic presentation of that bridge. And of course, he's got all the documentation here. So, to me, that's a merit quality model right there. What I would do is there anybody here who wants to take a wingette, doing some judging? Huh?
Don't everybody rush.
Okay. Don't everybody jump up at the same time. I'm very good. But what I'd like to do is, first of all, I'd like 3 people to come up who were willing to judge these models just a glance for construction. And then we'll change over to detail, and I'd like 3 other people to do detail. And then I'd like 3 more to come up and do conformity. And we'll have an open discussion here about, the judges will have an open discussion, whereas normally in a contest environment, we try not to have an open discussion. We try to chase the modelers away when they're trying to overhear what we're saying. But still, I think the easiest way to talk about this and to demonstrate it is to do some evaluation. Now, do I have to pick some people? 1, Mark, I'm going to pick you. Steve, I'm going to pick you. So let's get you up here and let's talk about construction. And I have my tools.
So on construction access, quality and workmanship, we want to judge good, quality, and workmanship. Now, what's the difference between quality and workmanship? Quality is like a finished product, and workmanship is what you put into it.
Quality and workmanship, same thing.
Okay.
The difference is the 2 factors that are in play here is quality and workmanship and complexity, scope and complexity. So if you want to talk about Jim's here. Jim, this is scratch built, right, Jim? Jim? This is a scratch built model, right?
Huh?
Scratch built model.
Yes,
Okay.
scratchable model.
All right.
There's only 2 pieces that are unmodified commercial pieces,
Okay.
and they're listed.
Okay. So here, what this is a model where he has taken a commercial model and he has attempted to replicate it in a scratch-built environment. So, to my mind, the thing that's missing is the fact that in this model you can't see any of the inside. So from a scope and complexity standpoint, scope and a complexity standpoint.
Here, he's working off that, I don't want to do that.
Because there's no internal modeling, it's limited. So I would call that somewhere of the scope and complexity range. And but then look at the craftsmanship of what is here.
Because he's working on it.
Well, I put a little higher on the scope of complexity. It doesn't have an interior, but it does have all this lighting, which is very typical, flashing beacons and downlighting on the side.
Okay.
So I'd maybe boost that up a little bit.
okay.
It's not appropriate for the structure to have an interior.
Well, here's the thing.
So in other words, I'm saying that he substituted the lighting effect for the interior, because you wouldn't have an interior.
That's correct.
The interior is all except for
Right.
these shoes, you can show the shoes on the bottom.
You could do,
The rest of it's just.
you could do something like that, so maybe a little bit higher than this.
They're all
It is not weathered.
Oh, it looks like there is some shade on it.
All right, there's a little bit of weathering. It's on this side, so I don't see any much weathering. Oh, there is some. So, all right, so it's slightly weathered.
Slightly wet.
No, it hasn't been weathered yet.
So,
It's missing a roof.
yes, weathering would add value to some construction. But I think that, because I see all the balconies back here,
So more complexity there.
there's some complexity back here.
Yeah, it's got balconies and ladders and.
So looking at the matrix. Looking at the matrix, I think, what do you think on this side?
I would say in
So the complex is towards the bottom, and simple is at the top.
I would say in the IJ area, somewhere in that, JK.
Yeah, I'd go
Lisa J.
I agree with you.
Okay, yeah.
So now come over here. How far are we gonna go over here?
Quality of work.
IJ, here's I know you don't necessarily have a picture in your mind of merit. Every bill is very good, but
I would say maybe good. Good, very good.
I would go J, 19, 20.
I give it the merits for construction. I mean, I'm gonna ignore the fact that the roof is not here because
Right.
I think it's, okay, he admits it's not a complete problem.
Right.
So,
And that's just based on construction.
construction only.
Only, right.
This is the hardest part of judging. How do you split in your head that you're judging just the construction component?
Right.
How do you split in your head you're judging just the detail?
Right.
How do you judge conformity?
Right.
And conformity is this is the perfect example of conformity.
Right, it's matching a prototype.
You've got plans, and the plans don't necessarily have to be a prototype plan. It can be a plan that he drew. As long as from an engineering standpoint, it looks acceptable, as to what you would see in the real world, versus how he carried that out. That's the key, is how do you carry out the plan? This is the plan, this is the execution of the plan.
Right.
He doesn't have a plan here, he doesn't show a plan here, but I'm sure that from the standpoint of this process, I know I saw either a video or a PowerPoint from Mike when he was showing how he was doing this.
Right.
I can go back to my own personal experience. Some 30 years ago, we went to a convention, a joint convention in Altoona, and one of the tours was a tour through the car shops. And we went into the Altoona car shops, and literally there was a string of 3 bay open hoppers on one end, and 2 bay open hoppers on the end. And in the middle were ends of 3 bay hopper cars where they had chopped the middle bay out. And they were then taking the 2 ends and welding them back together into 2 bay. So I actually saw them physically, really, in reality, doing this. So I know they do it.
Yeah.
So So, how do they do it? Well, they do it because they're working with metal, they can use welding techniques. Here, Mike's doing plastic welding, which is similar. But, so
I think another criticism I have is that the way that these shed roofs look like they're just tacked on.
okay,
And I think it would be nicer if he had kind of a roof truss, at least visible on the ends of the shed, not necessarily in the middle where you don't see them.
what, the shed?
Yeah, sort of like a roof truss here, because I mean, they would have a better support than that.
Yes, it would. So that's another,
And it doesn't look, I mean, I know it's hard, but how did the prototype connect the shed to this irregular,
well, that's a good question. That would be a conformity issue.
yeah,
That would be more than a construction issue, that would be a conformity issue.
yeah.
Because conformity is the factor that
What does
compares to
it look like?
what's here, what's modeled with what it would be like in the prototype.
Right, so if he had pictures to support what he did here.
Right.
Right,
That would
exactly.
support that.
If they had a picture that showed it, that's what they did.
Well,
Fine.
they could potentially put a beam, a carrying beam on here, a post there and a post.
Right.
And potentially connect it to the buildings.
We don't know, either that or
Right.
a wide strip of wood that was scribed to meet
And
in
then,
there.
and then the downside of our modeling is always the fact that when we do this wiring stuff, we've got these tiny wire, that wouldn't be there in the prototype. So we have to provide some allowance in that regard.
Well, none of those are really visible, it's all nicely, I mean, it's out here, because it wouldn't be a layer.
But considering the fact that this is not completed, which is, James is on his way, as far as I would be concerned, James is on his way to a merit award.
Yeah.
This is not gonna be much more than a 90 to 95 point model, because A, there's no interior, and B, it's not complete. And it would certainly be helpful if we had some photographs of what he was modeling.
Yeah, or similar
we could compare it. But otherwise, this is well on its way to, I would think, certainly getting a merit award. Because it is all scratch built.
Yes, it's all scratch built.
So he's gonna gain points down here,
Yeah,
that he wouldn't get if it were the kit.
right. And I really, I add complexity for the wiring, I like.
Now, on the other factors, appearance, right now you would get hammered in appearance because there's little or no weathering. There's little or no indication of how this is really being used. You would see, certainly there would be some sort of overflow or staining on the roof where the materials go into the silos.
Yes.
But that's something that you wouldn't want to do until you finish it.
Until you finish, because if you find any construction mistakes, you hide them by weathering.
Right, yes. But this is a very nice model, and it's well on its way to being good. Let's move to the hopper part. The hopper part, to me, is an outstanding commercial kit and doing substantial modifications. That's okay. But here's, I don't see, I'm not gonna touch it, but I don't see any scene anywhere, to indicate where for the two people. Now, I know he used, Because it's a covered harbor, they're not visible, so the dredge, it doesn't impact the liability of the So, one thing the other day is maybe a little high. I can't see over here, but I'm really interested in seeing what the frequency is. That would be certain, but otherwise.
Careful with the roof lines.
Just lay it on the spot. All right, so Michael?
Yeah.
There's no break rate.
There's what?
No break rate.
Right.
So that's a problem. But I think you would be able to do that. Here's the scene right here. You want to see it on another shot? You want to see, you can see it on the bottom.
Actually,
it's very nicely done. It's seen with
You're gonna be really cool. That's an exception.
Yeah, but what I'm gonna do is take a little loop off.
Like to do a project.
No, I will cut you off.
Even so, it's still, otherwise you can hide it. Still, it's a great job.
No, I figured that.
So that's actually the work we're gonna just
Accolades make it not a work. Notice all the great hits and.
It's a level of skill, ingenuity, patience, and time.
Yep. Now, the only thing about this is. The lettering issue, and that depends on whether you're
I think my grandson is working on his merit badges.
some died out.
Or some kind of activity, but you know, they're learning how these individual skills towards the goal of getting that.
Well, the other piece of it is, you mentioned potential oil. Certainly evidence of steam and water coming out.
You just regret the fact that you didn't have some more decades ago. Times aren't enough to learn.
Yeah. And that was
I still go with Wisconsin every day.
So the house here, these are,
One of the problems
But also represents, really represents this thing when I, rigid in here.
I have 13
Way down, way up to the ball.
very high.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably down.
Yeah, right, and then,
Emery, level. So that's, from construction, that's a 45, 36.
Yeah, the bigger you get, the worse it
It's all individual parts. And the truss rods are there, and the turnbuckles are there.
All the components are put in.
That's really interesting, is that I see the layout. So,
They're not gonna my cars,
these are
cars out of the town.
basically kickbox. This one, because earlier, when I first got into the hobby,
You might be able to see it.
yeah, there you go. Probably you can work on a class. So I still work on the car. So by adding the interior, go back in time, pretty much adding a great, it was like, it was one of those computers that they, the guy got, you got a probably all the air checks and he would be adding. So now you see, your impression of this model is great. Because of all of the so now it's also really nice. So construction things, you look at everything. No, that was, on the detail side, I look at, so not only by adding the interior and the additional, but you also get additional, if it's carried out, it's really detail in it. So this model,
I've done it.
You have excellent construction, but only shy of an area. Then you can fill out And that counts as a structure. So if you can't come up with 12 structures, and 6 of them have their own ordinance, then the other 6 can be structured alternatives. Which means you don't have to go to the design. So the other 4, oh, there you go.
There's my car coming.
It's got a model that has one ladders. One of the things I saw in New York, which is going to be in Rochester, so they're doing it in Kansas. Starting to run. And we hope over the course of 3 days. One of the people I know who's got his MMR 40 years ago, and he got into doing that. He was modelers in the 1900s and the 1910s. He made a whole bunch of stuff. They were all shooting and all. Complete painting and weathering and detailing and all that. They all made merit with that. He made, because he couldn't commercially come up with boxcars to his layout, he made like 24 of them. And he took the 6 best concepts and they all won merit awards. And that helped him win his, his certification parts. And it was also cheaper because he bought the strip wood and the wood in bulk. Does the achievement require different types of cars? Yes. But he was making box cars, and he was making hopper cars, and he was making gondola cars, and he was making cabooses. So they were all basically the same. And the only thing he really had to stretch for was asphalt.
Well, if you go back to that era,
but they were all short.
Well, but in that era,
yes,
very frequently they would build a flat car and make it a box car. Oh, yeah. So it wasn't, you could be building 4 different types of cars, one basic construction.
These two are ancient kits, all wood. This one here, if you remember, we had sand and sealer. Which we had, sand and sealer.
Wow.
Every little detail piece there was, little angles.
It's a practical kit.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful execution.
Yep. And because of the addition of the interior, now 50% of that model has considered to be scrapped. Now, the rules that apply, model has to be 50% scratch. to qualify as French Bill. But, so on the other hand, you're worrying about chairs, agreeing with you, right, in commercial gas. But still,
No, there's like,
the addition of the museum area adds not only to bring.
but you haven't really had that.
61 miles.
And the bridge is
Up to
actually
90. And that all of a sudden goes from being just a very nice model
Prior
to being narrow working. And if you really,
Yeah, I know, you know,
AP program.
yeah, I know, so,
Quality
I
model.
get it, you know.
Every time you take a quality model, look and see what you can do, how many points. Try to add things to it that can
Yeah, I mean,
result in
yeah.
more.
No, it's not that,
Doesn't matter
it's
what.
not that.
And
Well, but it's dry, yeah, but it's dry,
most
that's
people
the climate.
complain,
Yeah.
hardest part of
Yeah, dry climate.
the AP program is doing the paper. They don't mind, they love
Yeah, right,
doing the
right,
models,
right.
they love making the models, they love doing all that stuff. I just didn't know you
Yeah.
So I'm here to help.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you with the paper.
There's a lot of bridges.
I will be honest, the very first certificate I got was so
Yeah,
official
you know,
because I
because
have an active
Right, exactly.
convention
Running
program.
back and forth from the
Yeah,
cars.
Yeah, I know.
Call
I
out
know.
or-
You know, in the mom, in the mom, yeah.
And I walked into the board meeting.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
And
right.
he came over to me.
Look, I was the other guy
Table and said, "Fine."
Please, more careful.
Yeah.
I signed it, he said, and 6 weeks later, I had my certificate. You know,
Well, yeah, I can't
struggle and help with the paper. I can't do anything for, like James, I can't do anything like signing stuff off for his stature certificate. But I was able to sign off for his, official certificate, because I had been in Nutmeg Division when he was president of that. And I knew that he had been president for that many years. I was able to verify, sign off and verify.
And he did that for me.
Yeah, he did that for you too.
Yep.
So, of course, James was 6 years and he was 20. But still, I'm willing to help with paperwork if that's what you need. There are, well, I would want to have a second judge. There's 1, 2, 3, that I would sign to. So, but don't, the biggest point value is construction. The smallest point value is. But don't forget 25 points in quality, 25 points for detail, and 25 points for appearance. These are the errors. Well, I was about comments. This model we get, was taken on because of the shyness of the decals. The two biggest no-nos with decals are shininess on the surface and what they call silvering, which is air pockets underneath the decal. Sometimes the silvering can be resolved by taking an actinide and a couple of tiny holes in the circle of the decal and then blowing the decal solution underneath to let the air escape and to make the decal snuggle down to the body of the model. I've never had really great success with that. That's my feeling. But, appearance is generally weatherman. So I've seen some models recently, where people are collecting these stuff on the sides of the cars, that you see on the videos so much these days. And that's another way to disguise extremely minor flaws in the job. And it adds realism. Some of the dioramas actually see the national. They are enormous. Certainly, they're way down at the bottom on the complexity thing because they're not. The dioramas is not only a model, but it's several models in as well. When you have two guys carrying their plane looking forward. We've seen a couple almost that big.
Started down 3D model.
Lot of work.
Sacramento was the biggest model I've ever been. We had 109 years. And that really, it was that experience that changed the whole way we do. Normally judging starts, we ask the judges to show up in the model room at like 8:30, so that we can assign teams and we can get people. Construction teams always because they have the most time. They have 40 points to get away instead of 25. Most of the people take it very seriously. That construction team, that construction team, 9 models to judge. They started out at 9 o'clock and they finished at 8:30 that night. Which was difficult for Bob because Bob had to start. And he was scrambling all half the night trying to figure out who went what. In subsequent years, the last 2 years,
military training, he was crazy about M60 tanks. Yeah. 20 of them lined up on that table.
4 hours.
He might take 4 hours. Good one. He's a better technical presenter. Yeah.
And it is also
it's all the same scale.
Because I think when you have that many models to do in one, you're cutting a little bit short on the guy to make a model just fine. Eggs. Especially always. Because once they get it it's pretty much cut. And they are, the maximum 6 points. So when we are able to get them 1 through, we're done.
Yeah, give me your assessment on it. I mean, I remember the kid. I would go to your parents. What would you make? That's great. I'll go down there.
The thing on this is when I get yeah, Pepsi user, like it's on the radar. It's at least some sort of base. I added the bench inside. I didn't detail the walls and all that. You can see it.
They're very nice. They're awesome.
This too has illumination added to it. You know, a ramp to the side doors.
Some tigers came, not a flat.
How was the student attacked?
Right.
There's another one. But they claim it's empty clothes. I just don't get that.
I'm raising questions
Yeah.
to be asked by judges.
So you would need documentation to say it looks questionable, but
The photograph of that site showing the first four
Yeah.
doors on that side of the wall, I justified it, okay, from a conformance standpoint, from an engineering standpoint, it's probably also an internal structure. Support because the capital. And that's why it might be in the front plan.
Might be one, I'm not sure. It's nice, we should call it.
So now that brings me to one problem that we have, don't have so much in the English, that is someone will bring in a packet of documentation that's two or three times the size of Michael's.
The Rhode Island
You have a packet of documentation you're doing, you have 6 minutes a model. How do you read a page and a half of construction? And especially since somebody has to read it out loud, is routine. Clear, concise, and accurate is good. Some of these people get extraordinarily good. You know, we would prefer to, as opposed to a sentence.
And it's also flat.
When it comes to scratch fill, the most important thing we're interested in is the number of partners. When you see these doors added, and if they were, if they were made this year. But it's clear and concise documentation, we don't want to do it. Yeah, and we're saying each other, we don't like. Some people would feel the
And we'll have like a big boy.
That may be
Selling Europe.
but not when it's a page and a half that we have to read for, and for each factor. You know, because. So, under detail, somebody will read certain lines, listing pros, saying that parts. What was their original tip?
Okay, so, right up for water.
Yep.
Okay.
No, everything.
Okay, yes.
And I will do it. So here's the good thing.
In short.
One day. If I have the final shopping model, this is more contest related. 18% have a record time. Because you really probably only judge and maximum 4 or 5.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
If you're doing cars, you're judging with 4 cars. If you don't care about the other 4 of them, I don't know if they're there.
This is good, this is good, but what I would do to change this is, I would start out with a general description, with your description and your goals. And then I would list the 5 details, appearance, and I would give it a short paragraph for each of those things. You know, what really color, look at that, completely built on construction. I would start out with models of business, or 90%, 95%. Whatever the figure the percentage. On the details, I would put the things, I would particularly detail under appearance, I would have a general statement of how. That is basically a model of a model. Because generally the model is selfish fit, right?
No, what it's doing is I can't find a building anymore on that. Because usually they're all white or gray concrete. And I'm on Google Earth surfing and stuff, and I was like, I found one that colored sandstone because that would color the concrete. And I'm more like that. And then my computer right, but it did. It just has to fit that footprint. It's made to replace it, but it's not exactly.
I think we would prefer a list of bullet points. To the pros and the pros is here. Signage, casting, we just sign inspect with, I made the sign, all of this stuff, just say what you made it was used. Because it's much easier and valuable to scan over that bullet point than it is to go through all the pros. The pros is for So what we have here is we have some really nice models. Very
So, I know you mentioned earlier, like, getting the maximum 8 points on scratch building. You see a lot of people kind of get into ready to go, run down the back. You watch, getting away
I don't think it's clear away.
Not necessarily ready for our third what will happen is that a couple of regions, one of the further will do an open contest. And they will kill it up. Particular type of cars, particular type of structure, or a particular type of motor. Particular models. The military. The members. And then he never really did.
you'll say, well, try it out.
He's probably gonna say that. I think I'm gonna go.
Not only participate in the Nutmeg program, or participate in the program, so you can get out of immediate value of courtesy.
Put a little tip on a rod on that.
I don't know if we all, parents with kids, all of them. Yeah, it does. I think, well, I don't. So like you're going
I don't want to be the old we've never done that.
Yeah.
So, now, Mr. Mark here, Smith, did you do all of the training on your way out? Yeah. So you have enough
all the journals are fast tracks out there with broken that jig. I don't know if they do anything about that.
Yes, they do.
We all voted.
You want to pick out either crossover? You have a single turnout, you have a crossover. You have, I'm sure you don't have a latch. Or a handle straight too. Over the grade. Let me research that, but you have improvement criteria now. So that would help with you with civil. I'm sure that you have enough stuff to electrical or signal systems in addition to ECC. Yeah, well, we're probably you would be. So you must have. You have circuit breakers on that? Okay, so. I didn't want to. Yeah, right. Layout. And you have roofs in so, civil, electrical, okay, the most motor power, most of the cars are all. So that would mean you have to start building some cars, and building some sort of a motor device. But that would be
my recollection.
Volunteer or we could get involved. Because he's done. Opening the layout. So I think there's I think somebody else who may want to
Anybody who wants to get contact information.
Well, there are not. And we haven't met with Greg. And right.
You already have.
Yeah, I already have all that.
So I'm from Montana. You already have my school.
I gotta do it.
Did you want mine?
Yeah, I have your email already, but I'll get
Oh, good.
I think I'm an article.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly, I've never done an audit before, so
Yeah.
I did not.
that would be nice to do.
Okay,
Yep, are we done?
all right, well, that was my question to you. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. This is, I believe, is yours.
Well, don't take that out yet. Close your,
Have we had all our votes for the contest?
No, I haven't got there yet.
okay.
James, did you vote?
Yes, I did.
It's closing.
Okay. Yeah, forgot mine? There's, I think, one more slide.
Eject yours. What?
2024 annual meeting.
Mm-hmm. All of the PowerPoints are closed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming to the meeting. If you brought a model, thank you very much. It was very instructive. Learned a lot. I know I did.